What's your they thought I was too broken to fight back moment? When I was a kid, I discovered I was completely immune to poison ivy. I didn't break out, didn't itch, didn't even turn red. I found that out after spending so much time outside trying to avoid going home, because home was hell. I grew up in the kind of house where yelling happened constantly, with full-blown screaming matches over nothing and death threats that always felt real. And when words weren't enough, they threatened my pets, and sometimes they even followed through. I woke up more than once to find a cage empty and no explanation. I had to take the bus home every day, but since I wasn't allowed house keys, I'd sometimes wait outside for hours until an adult got home. I'd wander off to cry, to think, to plan. That's when I started learning what poison ivy looked like, and that's when I realized I could weaponize it. I tested it first. Rubbed some on my arm, and nothing. Rolled it between my fingers, nothing. Licked it, nothing. So I waited for the next time they started going through my room like they love to do, and I rubbed poison ivy on the handles of my drawers, the edges of my shelves, and the lip of my closet door. A week later, they were scratching, covered in red patches and blisters. They complained about it constantly. Something in this house is making us break out. I always just sat there nodding, trying not to smile. So I escalated. I rubbed it into the armrests of the couch and into the fabric of the passenger seat in the car. I'd watch them fidget and squirm and claw at their necks while accusing each other of not washing properly. Why is it always me? Are you using my towel again? It was the first time I felt even an ounce of power in that house, but it wasn't enough, because one summer they left me behind during another family vacation. They didn't even bother lying about it this time. They just told me, no one wants you there. You ruin everything. I was 10 at the time. They left me alone for 4 days with no food in the fridge and didn't reach out to me even once while they were gone. They just left a note on the counter that said, don't burn the house down. That's when I snapped. I went into the woods and collected as much poison ivy and poison oak as I could find. I wore gloves, stripped the leaves, and hand squeezed the oils into little containers I'd stolen from the garage. It took hours, but by the end I had enough to coat everything. And I did. I spiked their shampoo, their conditioner, the body lotion they kept in the bathroom, the perfumes they sprayed like clouds. I even got the mouthwash for good measure, and when they got back, it was almost instant. Their skin turned red and swollen, with rashes spreading across their necks and arms. They scratched until they bled, and some spots were so raw they looked like burns. And the best part? I used all the same stuff as them. Walked out of the bathroom fresh and untouched, so they ruled it out completely. Can't be the shampoo, we all use it. Maybe it's a new food allergy. Could it be eczema? Scabies? They threw out half the house trying to find the cause. They never found it, and they blamed everything but me. I was too stupid and too beaten down to pull off something that elaborate, but I was the only one smiling through their months of agony. Eventually the products ran out and the rashes faded, but the itch was still there. Every time they touched me in anger, they got a fresh dose because I had poison ivy rubbed into my sleeves. If they shoved me, they'd be scratching by the next morning. I stopped being afraid of their hands. I eventually got out of there, built a real life, and married a man who still can't believe I pulled off chemical warfare with a green grass.